Welcome, everyone. It is week 5 of the NFL. I'm joined with Shane O'Mac. Shano, let's talk briefly about last night's game. Woof.
Yeah. Who saw that coming? We were talking about that. That Niners injury report was like a War and Peace. It was so long.
Yeah.
It was like a book like that thick.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of starters and a lot of impact players, but somehow they were prepared. I'll give Kyle Shanahan his credit there. He had them ready to go, and they pull out the victory. I mean, but I don't think anybody saw that. I mean, I sent you my pick before the game. I posted it on X.
Right.
And I had the Rams minus 6.5. Took an alt line, and I took like the under hit, but the under alt line under.
Sure.
I parlayed them together.
Sure.
That hit, but yeah, I didn't see that happening at all. What about you?
Yeah, I took the Rams minus the point. No. Yeah, no, minus. I had an alternate line, minus 4.5. And some other had parlays for later games because one will be one of the games that we're going to be talking about shortly. But that obviously voided because the Rams didn't do their job. But I mean, the Rams didn't show up at all in the first half.
No, yeah, I think I don't know if they just thought they were going to win because the Niners had so many injuries and stuff like that, and they're just like, all right, we can kind of coast here and we can still get a W or something. But yeah, they did not look good the first half at all. Second half they looked better, but Sean McVay, I got his question his play calling there especially near the end of the game on that fourth and goal at the end of the game where they had that running play there. I thought that was a terrible call. They should have done the play action. San Francisco was boxed up in there, waiting for the run. I think if he did a play action there and hit somebody out in the flat, he would have been wide open.
Yeah. I saw that. That was towards the beginning of the game, but I fell asleep. I was exhausted, to be honest with you. But let's really be honest here. The Rams started to come back, and I'm like, okay, maybe a live bet would have been. I didn't do it, but I was thinking maybe a live bet. But the thing that really, really bothers me was nothing to do with the gameplay. What is with the attire of Sean McVay? What we're wearing it looks like he's wearing sandals or something, no socks. He's wearing sweats. He's it's like the bottom half of the Bill Belichick back in the 2000s.
Maybe that LA lifestyle is starting to get to him out there. He's starting to buy into that. He's got the hippie sandals and all that stuff.
Yeah,
he's going into it.
I mean, you don't need to wear a suit. And there's some college coaches back in the day who were wearing a suit, but like the Minnesota coach, right?
Yeah.
But
I remember Jack Del Rio used to always want to wear a suit. He used to wear it, and then the NFL stopped letting him. They didn't let him wear it because they wanted him to wear the NFL attire.
Right.
Pushes their sales and all that stuff. But I kind of like it when coaches wear suits. I think it's like a callback to the old school. He had Vince Lombardi wearing the suit, he had a little fedora and stuff,
Even Landry.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Landry too. But yeah, I didn't see that happening at all because before last night, the Rams were playing really good football.
Right.
They were playing really good football. I thought they were going to roll over the Niners, but I saw a crazy stat. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was Kyle Shanahan's record against Sean McVay. And for those of you who don't know, Sean McVay basically learned everything he knows from football in the NFL worldwide from Kyle Shanahan and his dad, Mike Shanahan. He was underneath their tutelage here in Washington. Right. So he learned a lot from them. And then it's kind of like the master versus the student still. But Kyle Shanahan, it was some ridiculous record. It was 12-2 or something like that against Sean McVay. It was something crazy. But I thought the Rams would win last night. Obviously that didn't happen. But I think a lot of people are on that same boat.
Absolutely. All right, let's dive into our picks here. Yeah, not good in Thursday night, but let's dive into our picks. I will go first. We're going to go across the pond again. The advantage of Minnesota, who played last week, and now it's the Wentz. So you get a good Wentz and a bad Wentz. You know what I mean? So they take on the Cleveland Browns, but I think them staying there for an extra week will help. The jet lag of Cleveland Browns, they're traveling and stuff like that. I see where Minnesota are getting some players back. They have a tough offensive line that's a little banged up for Minnesota, but, run the ball is what I'm seeing. Cleveland, of course, is going to be – they're not going to start Flacco. They're starting Gabriel
Yeah,
Dylan.
Rookie.
So, yeah. The
rookie. And that's a surprising call to me because Minnesota's got a good defense. Brian Flores, he can coach up some defenses there, their defense coordinator. And that's a surprise start for me. I think they would put him in like a little bit of a softer landing spot.
Yeah.
But Flacco hasn't looked good the last couple of weeks, so I get it. They want to change the pace. But that's a surprising call to me. I think they would have would try to put him in an easier spot to ease into it. But
yeah. And we talked about the Sanders with his arms crossed and stuff like that. Hey, I deserve to. It comes across as being entitled. Like, dude, learn the offense. So I don't know what's going on in camp or behind the scenes.
And Gabriel was drafted ahead of him too, so it's not like so.
I like Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel looked pretty good in the preseason too. Shador looked good in one game, and then the other one, So, I don't think Vegas is expecting a lot of points in this game. They have the lowest over/under in this of all the games this weekend. Do you see that?
Yeah,
the Vikings Browns. So
yeah, I'm going to go with Minnesota -3 at -110, courtesy of our friends over at Caesar's Palace. So that's my first pick. Shana, what says you on your first pick?
All right, my first pick, and this is not, I don't envision this being a great game, but I'm going New Orleans Saints are going to the Meadowlands facing the Giants. The Giants, they got their first win last week, right? Yay. They got the first win last week. They played the Chargers. Chargers looked a little not like the Chargers. They had a lot of penalties and stuff like that. And then Joe Alt, their tackle, their stud left tackle, got hurt.
Right.
But if you look at the quarterbacks the Giants have faced so far, they've played a pretty good list of quarterbacks. They played Jaden Daniels. They played Dak Prescott. They played Patrick Mahomes. And they played Justin Herbert last week. I mean, that's like a pretty legit list of quarterbacks they've faced. And they've held them all to pretty decent amount of points. Except for Dak Prescott, where both teams, the Giants scored a lot of points that game too. Remember, it was I forget the score, but 37-34 or whatever it was, Dallas.
Right.
So now that they get to play something a little easier, they're playing Spencer Rattler. So I think that's a little bit easier for them. And the Saints don't have a great offensive line, and New York's pass rush is starting to come on like gangbusters. They were harassing Herbert last week. So I think they make life a living hell for Rattler, and I think that the Giants go away and win this game. I'm taking Giants money line.
Giant money line at +110, courtesy of our friends over at Bet365. So, yeah, I like that pick. I'm worried that this might be a Lou Brown from Major League speech, where we win a game. Then we win today's game or Sunday's game. Then the next game, that's called a winning streak. Something that the Giants have not seen in a long time.
It has happened before.
It has happened before. Great lines, man. Great lines. They don't make movies like that anymore. They don't. They just really don't. +110 at Bet365 for Moneyline. So Shana's going with the Giants. The New York Football Giants at +110. All right, so for me, I'm up. Let's go with my next pick here. I'm going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Been scoring a lot. Their defense, they got to figure something out. I understand the Jets has a mobile quarterback and Fields and stuff like that, but something's got to give. If you're going, if you're giving up 40, I understand you're scoring 40. Dallas could be the new Rams, where they, the greatest show on turf, where they can score 100 points but give up 101. So I think Dallas with Dak, who has been showing some very nice numbers here, they don't have CeeDee Lamb, but Pickett is starting to find his own, and I kind of like Dallas here. I think they're going to bounce back. They've lost, they've tied now, so I think now the pendulum swings over to them winning. So give me Dallas -1.5, and I've got them. Let me pull that up here. The Dallas Cowboys at -110 again at Bet365. You can get them. I mean, that's pretty much any major sports book, Caesars, BetMGM, Bet365, you can do it. I'm willing to go Dallas -2 at -108. But if I'm not getting plus money, I'm not taking it. So again, -1.5. You can get that at Caesars. You can get that at FanDuel, DraftKings. You can get it at BetMGM. So majority of the books. The Bet Rivers one at -2, -108 doesn't sell me. At -105, I probably do that. But
yeah. Like you said, the Cowboys. It's not their offense that's the problem. Their offense has been looking really good. The only time that they haven't looked good is that game where CeeDee Lamb got hurt.
Yeah.
They after he got hurt, they did not look the same. But that was, I think, game planning. They weren't expecting that type thing, stuff like that. Pickens had a really good game last week. He had a really good game. So I like that pick a lot. The Jets, I don't see them doing anything against the Cowboys. I think they'll score a lot of points because everybody scores a lot of points against the Cowboys.
Right. Right.
But yeah, I think that's a solid pick.
What say you on your next pick, my friend?
My next pick, I'm going Tennessee Titans at the Arizona Cardinals. I'm looking at the over-under line here. The Titans, their offense has looked atrocious, right? Last week, they had less than 100 total yards passing. And Arizona's defense has looked pretty solid. They held the Saints to 13 points. They held the 49ers, who we just saw beat the Rams last night. They held the 49ers to 15 points. They played the Seahawks. The Seahawks have a decent offense. They held them to 20, which is pretty respectable. Right. So they have a good defense. I think that they're going to hold the Titans to under 20 points easily. So I think the Titans is probably the worst offense of that group, maybe except the Saints. I might be on the par of the Saints, maybe. So I'm taking the Cardinals, Titans Cardinals under. Another thing I like about it too is the Cardinals are only averaging 20 points a game right now, and they've only exceeded 20 points once in their 4 games so far. So that tells me take the under. I'm taking the under. I think right now it's at 41.5.
Yep.
I'm taking the under 41.5 for Titans Cardinals.
41.5 over at -115 over at BetMGM. They still offer that still at FanDuel, but it's -120. So you want to get the best number there, bettors. 41. I like to have that little extra kicker just in case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're talking about over and under.
It's already moved down a point. It opened up at 42.5. It's moved down 1 point. Then I think it's going to start moving down even more as they get closer to kickoff. So I would jump on it now if you can. Get the Titans Cardinals under 41.5.
Let's go with my last pick here. I'm going to go with the Indiana Jones. The Indianapolis Colts hosting the Raiders. I got that.
Our survivor pick this week.
That is our survivor pick. It is. I'm taking them at -6.5 at -118. Now, this is a little tempting. I saw this earlier at BetMGM. You can get it at -7 at -105. That's tempting. I mean, if it lands at 7 exactly, you get that push. So I could go there, but if it goes 7.5, don't do it. Don't do it. So -7 at -105. But the official play is -6.5 at -118. I don't want to pay that much juice. So if you're able to get it -7 right now, BetMGM at -105, take it. I think the Colts are pissed. They lost to the Rams, which we just talked about, where they got their kicked against the 49ers. So I'm going to go with 6.5. Get it at 7 if you can.
Yeah, I like that too. Like I said, we talked about that in our Survivor video. That's our Survivor pick this week. Solid pick there.
Yeah.
My last one, I'm going Denver Broncos at Philly.
Ooh.
I'm going to take the Broncos plus the points. They screwed me last time I took them with the spread. I had the minus. It was like -1.5 or something like that. And that's the game where they messed up with the jumping over offside, not jumping offsides, but jumping onto the player on the 50-yard field goal.
Right.
But Philly's 4-0. I give them credit for that. But if you look at their games, they've been outgained in every single game so far this year. Mm-hmm. And all their wins have been within one score. They haven't blown anybody out. Right. Every game has been within one score. I think that continues today. I don't know if Broncos will win. It wouldn't surprise me if the Broncos win. But I like them at +4.5. I think they can keep it within 3. So I'm taking the Broncos plus the points.
Broncos plus the point, 4.5 at -118 on FanDuel. Everything else has been doing +4, +4, +4.
I would take +4 too. I think it's a field goal game.
Okay, it's -110 on that all the way around. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that one. Real quick, not my official pick. The thing that I don't understand is Washington, where Daniels is playing. It hasn't moved. Just saying. It's at plus 135 at BetMGM. That may be a little pizza on that, but that's not my official pick. I'm going to go with my. Oh, those were my official picks. Sorry, we're only doing 3. So before we get off here, I'm just going to say, hey, Washington, the Skins, as you guys can see it right here. Okay. It hasn't moved, but they have officially announced Jaden Daniels to start. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's starting. He is going to be wearing a knee brace, so we'll see how much that impacts his mobility. The Chargers have a really good defense. Their pass rush hasn't been as great since Khalil Mack got hurt.
Right.
But they still have a really good defense. They're strong on 3 levels on defense.
Right.
I think this game to me is literally a coin flip. The Chargers, they're right now, if the Skins can get any pressure on Herbert, that's their chance of winning. Because Joe Alt, like we just talked about, he got hurt. He's out for Sunday's game.
Right.
And then over the last 2 weeks, Justin Herbert's been pressured 50 times in the last 2 weeks alone. So that's crazy number. So like if we can't get a pass rush against this offensive line right now, then it's going to look bad for the Skins because Herbert will pick you apart if he's not getting some pressure in his face.
Agreed, and they have some great receivers. But I'm also going to say that the Skins need to run the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to establish the run. We made the trade with Brian Robinson, getting him to San Francisco. Look at what he's done now, right? So he's not even playing at all.
He plays when Christian McCaffrey needs a breather because they use Christian McCaffrey so much. I get everybody else is injured, but they can't keep using him like that because he's going to get injured too because he has injury history. So
yeah. But that being said, also the with Bill and Rodriguez and stuff like that, there are some injuries on the Skins front, but I don't know. We need to show up on Sunday. I mean, it's a 4:25 game. It's a nationally televised game. So we just need to show up and see what's up.
Yeah, the thing that scares me the most is our secondary because we haven't been able to stop the pass at all so far this year. Right. And the Chargers have a really good receiving core.
Right.
Keenan Allen looks like Keenan Allen of like 3 or 4 years ago. Like he's catching everything. Ladd McConkey really hasn't done a whole lot this year, which is surprising compared to at least compared to last year.
Right.
Last year he was like catching 10 balls a game.
Right.
Right. But they have a good receiving core in Herbert. But like as the Giants exposed them last week, if you get in Herbert's face and get some pressure on them, that's your chance to win the game. Right. So we need to get some pressure on him. This is where the Skins need the money they paid for Von Miller to come through and get some pressure in his face there.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. Who knows?
You don't necessarily need sacks, but if you can hurry up his throws and get him off balance, that's what you need.
Sure. Sure. We'll see what happens. I mean, my concern is Payne. Payne has not practiced this week. So
yeah, and that would be a huge loss, especially in the run defense.
Yeah.
He's been really good. Him and Kinlaw together have been dominant in the run defense.
Yeah.
Kinlaw's been a great pickup by them, by the way. Sneaky good pickup.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. And then your boy Cosme might be back.
Yeah, he's not playing this weekend, they said. They announced that today, but they're hoping he can be coming back next weekend. So he started practice, and then when you come off the PUP or the IR, whatever one it is, he's coming off of, you have a 21-day window where you have to play. Otherwise, you go on the long-term IR and you're out for the season. Right. So that window started because he started practicing, but based on what I'm hearing, he's not playing this week, but they're hoping he get back next week, and that would be huge, because that'd be a great welcome back to our addition to our offensive line.
Yep. We need it. All right, guys, we're gonna take a 5-minute break. We're gonna get the wise man here. That concludes our NFL picks. Let's go with a recap. I'll go first there, Shano, with a recap for Week 5 in the NFL. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings -3 as they travel to London. Well, actually, they're still there, right? They came from Ireland, Dublin, I believe, and then now they're in London, in Tottenham. to take on the Browns. So I got Minnesota -3. I also have the Dallas Cowboys -1.5. I suggest you can go to -2 against the New York Jets. And my final pick is the Indianapolis Colts with Indiana Jones, -6.5 at -118. But I would highly suggest get the -7 at BetMGM. It's currently at -105, so get on that quick, guys. What are your picks?
My 3 picks, I got Saints at Giants. I'm taking the Giants money line. Titans at Cardinals. I'm going under 41.5. Hurry up and I'll get on that line quick. It's moving quickly. It opened at 42.5 and it's starting to move. And then Broncos at Philly. I'm taking the Broncos plus the 4.5. I think that's a close game. All Philly's games have been within one score. I think the Broncos keep it within one score. So take the Broncos plus the points.
Absolutely. That's it for us. We're going to hop off, take a 5-minute break here, and then we will get the wise man up as we have our NCAA college football week 6 picks. And courtesy of our friends over, well, we're going to be live here on YouTube. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give us a follow. Soccer's been doing really well. And then we've got, of course, after this, it's going to be a long night, channel. You better make some coffee there. We've got the UFC 320. So we'll be back. Hang tight, and we will be